It's Wednesday. Welcome back. If you listened on Monday, you'd have heard about Sasha, the Costa, the notebook, and I hope you sat with that a little. Here's what you're going to get from today's episode. 1, a proper scientific explanation for why a career knockback hits your identity, not just your diary, and why that makes recovery feel harder than people expect. 2, an understanding of the confidence-competence loop, why knockbacks break it, and exactly what it takes to restart it. And 3, something genuinely hopeful about what's possible on the other side of a setback. Hello and welcome to Unshakable Her. We believe that getting promoted, owning your influence, and finally telling that imposter syndrome voice to do one doesn't require a personality transplant. Just a few resourceful little habits and someone in your corner. That someone is me. I'm Caroline Esterson. Let's get into it. There's a concept in psychology called role identity. It's the idea that the roles we occupy become part of how we understand ourselves. We might see ourselves as things like a parent, a leader, a partner, an expert, the person who knows what they're doing even. Or maybe all of these at the same time. The stronger the investment in a role, the longer we've been in it, the more you've shaped yourself around it. And the more your brain treats it as self. Not just what you do, but who you are. So when that role is taken away, redundancy or a toxic environment that finally breaks you, maybe a restructure that erases the thing that you've built, your brain experiences something very close to a threat to your identity. And, well, identity threats, they hit hard. We're talking elevated cortisol, disrupted sleep, reduced working memory, and a lower risk tolerance. In short, it directly hits your confidence. That confidence is not a fixed trait. It's a loop. You do something, it goes reasonably well, you feel capable, so you try again. That loop reinforces itself. Over time, it feels stable, like you. But a knockback, well, understandably, it interrupts the loop, doesn't it? Not because your competence has changed. It didn't. You're still absolutely as skilled as you were the day before the redundancy notice arrived. But the feedback system that kept confirming your competence, the results, the recognition, the daily evidence that you were good at things, well, that's gone, hasn't it? And without the feedback loop running, your confidence starts to drift. That's why Sasha couldn't write the job application. Not because she didn't have the skills, but because the system that had been quietly confirming her skills every day for 6 years had just gone offline. The goal of recovery isn't to feel confident before you act. It's to restart the loop with small actions, small evidence that compound, just 2 millimeters at a time.
The science bit. Facts beat fear. Every time.
And I want to go a bit deeper here as well, because there's a body of research pioneered by psychologists Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun on something called post-traumatic growth. And this is the idea that for many people, significant adversity doesn't just return them to where they were, it actually moves them forward in ways they couldn't have assessed without the disruption. It gives clearer values, a stronger sense of what actually matters to them, maybe better boundaries or a more grounded relationship with their own capability, because they had to excavate it rather than just inherit it from a job title. It's the science saying the people who come back from knockbacks really come back, often come back more themselves than they were before, because the crisis stripped away all of that stuff that was never really theirs in the first place. Sasha's 2 pages in the notebook, well, that was post-traumatic growth, showing up at a kitchen table, accompanied by a flat white. But here's what I want you to notice about that list, because it's way more powerful than it first appears. It isn't a list of what you did in one role. It's accumulation of every iteration of yourself, every version of you that showed up, solved something, built something, held something together across every job, every team and every company you've ever worked in. And in a world where job roles disappear overnight and re-emerge as something newer and shinier, where the thing you were hired to do 3 years ago might just not exist in the same form next year, that list is not just a confidence tool. It's actually a map of your transferable skills. And transferable skills don't belong to any one role or industry. They travel with you. They open doors you haven't thought to knock on yet. And they put you in the frame for roles you might never have considered before because you'd only ever seen yourself through the lens of the job title, not through the lens of what you actually bring. Sasha didn't just find herself in that notebook. She found her options.
The unspoken rulebook. Know the rules. Own the game.
So let's look at this from a context point of view for a second, because sometimes what's blocking you isn't the exclusive network you weren't invited to. It's just a badly built system. And those, well, we can fix those, can't we? So let's name something important here. Not every knockback is personal. Redundancy is in organisational decisions. Restructures are financial decisions. And frankly, toxic environments are leadership failures. Being passed over is sometimes bias, sometimes politics, sometimes a system that was never going to give you a fair run in the first place. And if your knockback came from a broken system or a bad organisation, please hear this clearly. That is information about them. It is not evidence about you. Your job is not to rebuild yourself into something that fits the system that broke you. Your job is to get clear on what you actually bring, separate from any organisation that couldn't see it, and to find somewhere that can. And well, when you find that somewhere, you will be so well positioned, not just to succeed in it, but to make it better. That's what people who've been through the fire tend to do. That's strategy. So let's look at your move today, the 2mm difference. It's the shift from waiting to feel ready to taking the tiny action that starts rebuilding your loop. And this week, that action has a name. Write the list. Not a LinkedIn update, just you, a page, and one question. What am I actually good at? Not what my job title said, but what am I genuinely, repeatedly bring? That's what Sasha did. That's all it takes to start. Just 20 minutes. You won't feel ready before you start the lists. That's not a signal to wait. It's just how recovery works. This isn't a leap. It is just a list. And that list, it's not just a confidence tool. It is your map of transferable skills, the options you didn't know you had until you wrote them down. Sasha found herself in that notebook. You might just find your next chapter too. So that's it for this episode. Identity disruption, the confidence-competence loop, and post-traumatic growth. You now know more about what's happening inside a career knockback than most managers, HR professionals, and frankly, most therapists who haven't specialised in it. So that's it from me today on Unshakable Her. If something landed for you, share it with a woman in your world who really needs to hear it. She probably won't ask, but she'll be really glad that you did. I'm Caroline Esterson, and you, well, you are completely, entirely unshakable. So let's take a look forward to Friday, where we bring it home with a song and 3 moves that are specifically designed for the person who is ready to start leaning forward again. See you Friday.